Hello and welcome to today's Hindu newspaper analysis of the Delhi edition from the front page. Okay, especially from editorial section. Vastar's wheel of justice grind excessively slow. Hearings should not be suspended during COVID-19 times as jail conditions and quick trials do matter in conflict regions. What is gist of this article? What is crux of this article? The third wave of COVID-19 is on its way out, but it has left in its wake many anxieties in conflict torn Bastar in the state of Chhattisgarh. COVID-19 times may put a halt to many activities, but it does not halt the militarization that has been growing and spreading to new age of Bastar division, 7 districts with the corresponding action that satisfy the paramilitary ration tire. The most for their part like to be heard through improved explosive device, blast or similar access with predictable consequences. In the absence of any appeal for a ceasefire from either side, from the state to the Maoist or vice versa, at least for the duration of this crisis, arrest of local Adivasis, many fabricated cases, continue as before after every fresh incident. Okay. The lives of those arrested and their families for a good number of years after incarceration hinges upon the efficiency of the judicial system and good governance of jails. Jails and courts may not matter much for most people, but in conflict regions such as Bastar, where many families have some members in jail at any point of time, jail conditions and speedy trials do matter. Throughout the COVID-19 crisis, intermittent suspension of court, work and jail visits have created enormous hardships for prisoners and their families. इसका मतलब यह है कि कोविड-19 के समय, चाहे वो पहली वेव रही हो, चाहे दूसरी वेव रही हो, चाहे तीसरी वेव रही हो, कोविड-19 में जेलर्स को भी बहुत सी समस्याएं गई हैं, जिनकी वजह से कई जेलर्स की मौत भी हुई है. Jail out of reach. It is not unusual for me to receive several early morning calls from buried relatives of Adivasi under trials, inquiring about the next hearing, payee, date or other aspects of the case. Mobile signal strength is weak in interior regions and relatives have often to walk or climb to a better spot to make the query before their work, and begins. These calls took on a more anxious tone from January 7, 2022, when Mulaqat visit in jail were abruptly stopped for a full 6 weeks, until February 21st. On January 7th, relatives of under trials, Hidme Markam and Biju Semla and unjustly convicted Kishore, besides hopes for a speedy trial. This is not most important regarding basically speedy trials, so this is not for both, essential for us. So that is sufficient from here. Let's move to another article. The Ukraine bar India and a stand of non-aligned movement. New Delhi present position apart. The only lasting principle in foreign policy is the principle of national interest. समझ गए? यहाँ हम यूक्रेन के युद्ध और उसके परिप्रेक्ष्य में भारत के गुट निरपेक्ष आंदोलन और भारत के अपने गुट निरपेक्ष आंदोलन पे सख्त खड़ा हुआ है, इस पे हम चर्चा करने की कोशिश करेंगे और ये बताएंगे कि भारत के सामने चैलेंजेस क्या है और गुट निरपेक्ष आंदोलन क्या है, इसकी एक झलक आपको बताने की कोशिश करेंगे और किस तरह से गुट निरपेक्ष आंदोलन का निर्माण हुआ था. गुट निरपेक्ष आंदोलन क्यों सख्त है, भारत के लिए आज जरूरी है कि मतलब किसी भी गुट में शामिल होना, इंग्लिश में कहते हैं नॉन अलाइन्ड मूवमेंट. वेरी फ्यू saying are as true as truth is the first casualty in war. Its corollary is no government tells the truth about war to its people. Certainly not the whole truth. This is true of all government at all times in all countries. और ये दुनिया के सभी देशों के लिए सभी समय पर सत्य है. India's war with China ended in 1962. India's war with China ended in 1962. 60 years later, we still do not know all the truth about the war. और आज 60 साल के बाद भी हम यह नहीं जान पाए कि वास्तविक युद्ध की सच्चाई क्या थी. The Henderson Brooks report that delved deeply into the circumstances leading up to the war and the conduct of the military operations has still not been made public. Though many claim to have read it, the reason it has not been made public, it is believed, is that it does not reflect well on the army. Even if true, how will it reflect poorly on today's Indian army? It is interesting that even BJP government have refrained from making it public. For Ukraine and West, यहाँ यूक्रेन के लिए और पश्चिम के लिए क्या इम्पोर्टेंट है? So we will hear claims and counter claims about the Russian invasion of Ukraine. It is widely recognized that Russia has legitimate security concerns. The North Atlantic Treaty Organization is already at its doorstep. The saga of the broken promises and commitments, albeit oral, given at the highest level by the West to Russia, that NATO will not be expanded eastward closer to Russia is well documented. और इतिहास में अगर आप चले जाओ तो मैंने आपको बताया था कि गोर्बाचेव और उसके पहले के कुछ नेताओं के साथ नाटो ने इस बात की पूरी कोशिश की थी कि वो रसिया के टचिंग कंट्रीज को अपनी मेंबरशिप नहीं देगा, और चूंकि उसका नाटो भी बराबर उल्लंघन करता चला आ रहा है, गलती एक तरफ से नहीं है. However, that does not justify the invasion of Ukraine. Also, it is not clear how this war will take care of Russian security concern. Even if the West agrees to give such assurance in war writing, it will not have much meaning, since written commitments can also be easily disregarded. The president of Ukraine sought to have been more flexible in devising some formula which would have accommodated Russia's concerns as for example, by announcing adherence to the Minsk agreement which is signed in 2014 and 15. He knew and know that the only country which would suffer heavy casualties and suffer incalculable destruction is in his oven. The West could also have been more innovative. The distract towards Russia's lie deep in the western side. A large part of the world has condemned the Russian invasion, quite rightly too, since it is a gross violation of the universally accepted principle of respect for the sovereignty and territorial integrity of states. Ukraine is a sovereign state. यूक्रेन एक संप्रभु राष्ट्र है. यहाँ फाउंडिंग मेंबर्स ऑफ द यूनाइटेड नेशंस और एक यूनाइटेड नेशंस का संस्थापक सदस्य भी है. ये बात सभी लोग समझ लेना. इट मे बी रिकॉर्ड दैट द सोवियत यूनियन वांटेड ऑल द सोवियत रिपब्लिक्स टू बी एडमिटेड टू द न्यूली फाउंडेड यूनाइटेड नेशंस. अल्टीमेटली a compromise was struck and only two republics, that is Ukraine and Byelorussia and Belarus, was then called, were admitted. Thus, Russia has surely violated the most important principle of the international law. Does concern about its security perceptions justify the inventions? और रसिया ने सबसे बड़ी गलती यहाँ यह की है कि उसने अंतर्राष्ट्रीय नियमों के कानूनों का जो प्रमुख था उसका उल्लंघन किया है। ओके, यूक्रेन इज इन नो पोजीशन टू डिफेंड इटसेल्फ अगेंस्ट रशियन माइट। और यूक्रेन अपनी इस स्थिति में बिल्कुल भी नहीं है कि वो रशिया की शक्ति का सामना कर सके। इट वॉज वाइडली expected that it would be a short device bar. There is no doubt that Russia can and will prevail. But if it has to take Belarus help in doing so, it will not, redounded well Mr. Putin's credit. The resistance put up by the Ukrainian people under President Vladimir Zelensky leadership is impressive. What they are after, challenging for India. भारत के लिए चुनौतीपूर्ण यहाँ क्या है? इंडिया इज इन ए डिफिकल्ट पोजीशन। भारत एक कठिन स्थिति में खड़ा है। ऑन द वन हैंड देयर इज द ग्रोइंग रिलेशनशिप विद द यूनाइटेड नेशंस as is often maintained. India-US relations have never been better. This is true especially in the defense sector. Much is also made of the famous Quad that is grouping of the India, United States of America, Australia and Japan, which is essentially an arrangement to contain China. How that helps India? The only one is Quad having a territorial dispute with China is not clear. समझ गए? क्वाड ही सिर्फ एक ऐसा है जिस पर चाइना क्लियर नहीं है, क्योंकि वो चाइना को काउंटर करने के लिए इंडो पैसिफिक में बनाया गया है। समझ गए? ऑन द अदर हैंड देयर इज रशिया विद whom we have long standing history of friendship. दूसरी तरफ अगर हम ले, अमेरिका की तरफ हमारे कोई बहुत अच्छे रिश्ते नहीं रहे। दूसरी तरफ अगर हम देखें तो रशिया एक ऐसा देश है जो हमारे साथ उसकी एक दोस्ती की ऐतिहासिक परंपरा है, विच इज स्टिल आवर प्रिंसिपल सोर्स ऑफ मिलिट्री हार्डवेयर, और हमारे मिलिट्री का सोर्स भी है, एंड विच इज डीलिंग मोर देन अदर कंट्रीज, और जो कि हमें प्यारा है अन्य देशों से। टू शेयर द टेक्नोलॉजी इन्वॉल्व्ड, टेक्नोलॉजी भी हमें, तकनीकी भी अपनी देता है। रशिया हैज आल्सो हेल्प्ड अस आउट इन द यूनाइटेड नेशंस ऑन मैनी ओकेजन्स, और रशिया ने कई बार हमारी संयुक्त राष्ट्र के प्रश्न पर भी मदद की और उससे बाहर भी आके मदद की है। One can hardly forget, how they stalled action in the UN for several days at the time of the 1971 Bangladesh war to enable us to finish the job. समझ गए? सब लोग ध्यान कर लो। We might need Russian support in the future, और हमें रशिया के सपोर्ट की फ्यूचर में जरूरत पड़ेगी। As and then Pakistan fully backed by the China brings up Kashmir issue in the World Organization. कुल मिलाकर समझ गए? अमेरिका के साथ हमारे बहुत अच्छे रिश्ते, कभी बहुत ज्यादा बहुत खराब भी नहीं रहे, बहुत अच्छे भी नहीं रहे, लेकिन इस बात की ऐतिहासिक परंपरा है कि रशिया के साथ हमारे भारत का बच्चा जानता है कि उसके साथ हमारे बेहतरीन संबंध रहे हैं। और 1971 के बार में और भी कई ऐसे मुद्दे हैं, 1962 के बार में उसने हमारा साथ दिया है अंडर द सर्कमस्टांसेस, और उसने हमेशा युद्ध को समाप्त करने की घोषणा की है। अंडर द सर्कमस्टांसेस द गवर्नमेंट हैड डन well by maintaining a kind of neutral position. It is a demonstration of the classical Nehruvian policy of non-alignment. समझ गए? ये सिर्फ एक प्रदर्शन है नेहरूवादी मॉडल का। there are influential voices in India. There are influential voices in India that speak diversity of diversity of non-aligned, but it is precisely what we are witnessing the government to. Yes, the Russian invasion is wrong by every principle of international law, but only lasting principle in foreign policy is the principle of national interest. समझ गए? ये बात हमें पता है कि रशिया का यूक्रेन पर अटैक गलत है, लेकिन हमारा राष्ट्र का हित कहाँ है, हमें ये भी देखना चाहिए। बात समझ रहे? ये यहाँ वो चीज नहीं है। जवाहरलाल नेहरू इवन कॉल्ड इट ए सेल्फिश पॉलिसी, उन्होंने इसको सेल्फिश पॉलिसी कहा था। नेशनल इंटरेस्ट विल आज विल ट्रम्प प्रिंसिपल्स, दैट इज व्हाट नेहरू डिड, Okay, that is what Nehru did at the time of the Soviet Union marching with tanks into Hungary in 1956. He did not condemn the Soviet action. Our stand stood out in the stark French-Israel aggression on Egypt, which we condemned when it nationalized the Suez Canal the same year. However, if the war continues, resulting in large number of civilian casualties, and even in the nuclear alliance, Belarus renouncing of nuclear status, the indiscriminate bombing of major crises will all make it extremely difficult for us, India, to maintain the non-aligned position for long. समझ गए? तो ये कंडीशन जो थी इस आर्टिकल की, मैंने आपको बताया कि भारत को रहेगा, सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है कि अभी अपने को मेंटेन करके रखे और बहुत ज्यादा किसी के पक्ष में न रहे, तो ज्यादा इसके फ्यूचर के लिए ठीक रहेगा, क्योंकि रसिया से भी मुझे बहुत चीजों की जरूरत पड़ेगी फ्यूचर में. ओके, ए केसनरी टेल इंडिया मस्ट हीड द वार्निंग ऑफ द IPCC report and shore of adaptation measures. What is this? Okay, amidst global turmoil, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the largest international consortium of scientists analyzing and revising the evidence on the present and future made impact of climate change, has a message that is predictably dire. World faces unavoidable multiple climate hazards over the next 2 decades with the global warming of 1.5 degree centigrade, even temporarily exceeding this warming of 1.5 degree centigrade even temporarily level would mean additional severe impacts, some of which will be irreversible. The report points out that the rise in the weather and climate extreme has led to some irreversible impacts as natural and human systems are pushed beyond their ability to adapt. Allowing the conference of the parties, also known as COP26 in Glasgow in November 2021, the report notes that most of the targets the countries have set for themselves are too far in the future to have an impact in the short term at the meaningfully reducing the climate impact. India will achieve net zero emissions latest by 2070. भारत 2070 तक अपने नेट जीरो एमिशन को प्राप्त कर लेगा. देयर विल बी नो नेट कार्बन इमिशंस, और तब हमारे पास कोई नेट कार्बन इमिशन नहीं होगा. प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी डिक्लेयर्ड एट द COP26 समिट. By 2030, India would also ensure 50% of its energy will be from renewable energy sources. Important fact है. India would by 2030 India would also ensure 50% of its energy renewable energy. However, none of this can help 1.5 degree centigrade mark being breached. A major joint emphasis of the report, particularly for South Asia, is the trend in the wet bulb temperature, an index of the impact of the heat and humidity combined. Wet bulb is the index. And its effect on health. Lucknow, Patna, according to one of several studies cited in the report, were among the cities predicted to reach wet bulb temperature of 35 degrees centigrade. Emissions continue to rise. While Bhubaneswar, Chennai, Mumbai, Indore and Ahmedabad are at risk of reaching wet bulb temperature of 32 degrees centigrade to 34 degrees centigrade with continued emissions. This will have consequences such as rise in the heat wave, linked death or reduced productivity. Global sea levels will likely rise 44 centimeter to 76 centimeter this century if governments meet their current emissions cutting pledge. but the higher emissions and if ice sheets collapse more quickly than expected, sea levels could rise as much as 2 meters, okay, this century and 5 meters by 2000, okay, 2150 2150. India is one of the most vulnerable countries in terms of population. समझ गए? India is one of the most vulnerable countries in terms of the population that will be affected by sea level rise. भारत दुनिया का सबसे सुभेद्य देश है जनसंख्या की दृष्टि से. ठीक, बाय द मिडिल ऑफ द सेंचुरी और सेंचुरी के मध्य तक अराउंड 35 मिलियन ऑफ इट्स पीपल कुड फेस एनुअल कोस्टल फ्लडिंग, और 2050 तक कम से कम 35 मिलियन लोग हैं वो वार्षिक फ्लडिंग से प्रभावित होने लगे, विद 45 मिलियन टू 55 मिलियन एट रिस्क बाय द एंड ऑफ द सेंचुरी. एमिशंस आर हाई. Experiences has shown that partisan economic calculations trumps climate considerations, but India must shore up its adaptations measures and urgently move to secure the future of its many vulnerable who have the most to lose. So this article most important regarding such type of actions, IPC. India could face many problems regarding climate conditions in future, which is very, very serious for us. Okay, tackling the all climate conditions and adopted by the actions suggested by the IPC and United Nations be strictly followed to compulsory. Okay, this is unavoidable suspension of Russian teams shows is not most important. A history of clothing and why it matters. Okay, understanding clothing and defense of dress code can build greater civility and respect for differences is not most important. Okay, grassroots secularism grows. Most important, what is all about secularism in India and how Indian secularism is different from the Western secularism. How secularism is important for India and Hindutva is most important or not? Because India is the country where diverse people living at a time. The farmers movement has strengthened the bonds between the Muslim and Jats in Western Uttar Pradesh. Okay, which are the very, very dominant caste in Western Uttar Pradesh. Okay, the revival of grassroots secularism in Western Uttar Pradesh, which is lifting the veil of the fear of Muslim, is among the most rewarding benefits of the farmers movement in northern India. The movement strengthened the social and cultural bonds between Jat and Muslim, whose communal harmony many decades took a beating during the violence in Muzaffarnagar in 2013. जाट और मुसलमानों के बीच 2013 में मुजफ्फरनगर का जो दंगा हुआ था उसे भूले नहीं है, जबकि 2013 का फेमस दंगा था और फिर एक बार बीजेपी जैसी पार्टी के लिए खतरा मंडराने लगा है. ओके, वेदर दिस grassroots secularism will have ripple effects in other parts of the UP, in the rest of India is a legitimate question. और अन्य भारत के लिए एक वैध प्रश्न है. ओके, nonetheless, this in itself is impressive accomplishment for us. The damage caused in 2013 में कंडीशन क्या हुई थी? What was the condition of the 2013 occurred at that time? The history of communal harmony of this region is unique because this area remained untouched by the violence following both partition and Ayodhya movement. और इस क्षेत्र के सांप्रदायिक हार्मोनी, सांप्रदायिक सद्भाव की भी एक लंबी कहानी है. हम यहां दो चीजों पर चर्चा करने की कोशिश करेंगे. इस क्षेत्र वो क्षेत्र है जहां पार्टीशन का कभी भी भारत छोड़ जो भारत पाकिस्तान का बंटवारा हुआ उसका कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ा. अयोध्या जैसे मूवमेंट का यहां कोई फर्क नहीं देखा गया. इसकी एक लॉन्ग हिस्ट्री रही है. एट द वायलेंस दैट वाज अनलीज्ड इन 2013 toward the secular social fabric like newer before mainly owing to religious polarization, campaigned by the forces of Hindutva, who according to elderly Jats were able to brainwash their younger generation to support Hindutva ideological cause. और यहां आपको देखना ये होगा कुछ गवर्नमेंट के या बीजेपी लेड गवर्नमेंट के कुछ ऐसे सीनियर लीडर ने जाट समुदाय के युवा नेताओं का ब्रेन वॉश करने की कोशिश की है, उनमें हिंदुत्व गढ़ने की कोशिश की है। लेकिन मुजफ्फरनगर एक ऐसा इलाका है जिस इलाके में जाट और मुस्लिम के बीच बहुत ज्यादा कॉन्फ्लिक्ट देखने को नहीं मिला है। जब भी भारत में ऐसे संगीन मौके आए हैं, जैसे भारत पाकिस्तान का बंटवारा और अयोध्या जैसे मूवमेंट जो हुए हैं, और चाहे वो 6 दिसंबर 1992 रहा हो, चाहे अयोध्या जैसा मूवमेंट रहा हो, इसका कोई इफेक्ट यहां नहीं देखने को मिला है। ओके, सेक्युलरिज्म हैज बीन debated by scholars of various disciplines in India. Some have argued that, okay, it is a Western idea that inherently incompatible with Indian society, their religious interest. सेकुलरिज्म क्या है, इस पर कई विचार हैं। कुछ विदेशी विद्वान मानते हैं कि एक पश्चिम का विचार है जो भारत आया और भारतीय समाज में छट बैठ गया है। फॉर अदर्स सेकुलरिज्म इज एन इंडियन आइडिया। और कुछ अन्य के लिए जो धर्मनिरपेक्षता है, वो सेकुलरिज्म है, वो एक भारत का विचार है। इन माई व्यू, मेरे विचार से, द ग्रास रूट्स सेकुलरिज्म रिफ्लेक्टेड इन द सोशल बॉन्डिंग ऑफ द जाट मुस्लिम इन द वेस्टर्न यूपी प्रेजेंस इविडेंस ऑफ द लेटर वैरायटी। और मेरे मायने से सेकुलरिज्म वो चीज है जो एक सोशल बॉन्डिंग है जाट और मुसलमानों के बीच में, एक सौहार्द की भावना मेंटेन करना ही सोशल सेकुलरिज्म है मेरे हिसाब से। अकॉर्डिंग टू नरेश टिकैत, elder son of the late former leader Mahendra Singh Tikait, the old days of the Barhomi between the Jat and Muslim have returned, and the massive electoral benefit that BJP acquired in 2014, 17 and 2019 are not going to be this time in the region. It is worth recalling that Naresh Tikait pleaded with Muslim not live to Sisauli, his village, Sisauli, during the 2013 violence by the taking of his headgear and placing it on the ground. The Bharatiya Kisan Union, which the senior Tikait firm led, had both Muslim and Hindu leaders, followers. The 2013 violence, समझ गए, जो किसान, मैंने आपको बताया कि भारतीय किसान यूनियन है जिसको मानने वाले हिंदू और मुसलमान दोनों हैं। But the 2013 violence caused a split in the organization. लेकिन 2013 में जो वायलेंस हुआ उसने इसको काट दिया भी इससे। In Mr. Tikait house even today, a lamp is lit every day as a tribute to the farmers movement as well as the organization secular ethos since 1987. The year this saw the birth of the iconic slogan Har Har Mahadev, Allahu Akbar. That is the slogan which emerged during the 1887. Har Har Mahadev, Allahu Akbar is the slogan of the social bonding of the Muslim and Jats, which origin at that time in India. A vast majority of Muslim of this region always trusted leaders. समझ गए? A vast majority of Muslims of this region always trusted leaders. Charan Singh, Mahendra Singh Tikait and Mulayam Singh, while they seem to be throwing their weight behind the Akhilesh Yadav-led alliance with time, they appear concerned and fearful. Many victims of the 2013 riots continue to live in colonies set up by the disparate organizations or families such as the Jamaat-ul Hind or Asrad and CPI and the family of Tabsham, the family of Tabsham Hassan, the first Muslim MP, Tabsham Hassan was the first Muslim from MP since 2013 in the colonies victims struggle for basic amenities and livelihood. Many have sold their ancestral property to Hindu villagers with whom they grew up and lived until the riots. Though Muslims fled the affected villages, there are still abundant mosques and madrasas in these places. For communal harmony. For communal harmony. To return these issues need to address such social worker Subodh Tyagi, who led a large peace march in Budhana during the riots. An important issue, understand. महत्वपूर्ण मुद्दा है, उसको आप समझने की कोशिश कीजिए. The lynching of Muslim has been a prominent issue since 2014. Sadly, this issue has not been spoken about any part, including the so-called secular ones. During the recent election campaign in UP, this was the case in the West Bengal and New Delhi too. In 2018, the Supreme Court asked the Parliament to bring a separate law against lynching. 2018 में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भारत सरकार ने पूछा कि आप लिंचिंग के लिए कोई अलग कानून संसद में लेके आए हैं. ओके, बट द गवर्नमेंट हैज मेड नो एफर्ट टू डू. जबकि सरकार ने भी कोई एफर्ट इसके लिए नहीं किया है. द सेम गवर्नमेंट हाउएवर हैज शोन एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी एलआरसिटी in implementing the court directives. The Ayodhya case delivered more than a year. Okay, former MLA and prominent Jat leader, Harendra Singh Malik assured this author as the this author that the issue of lynching will address with law if an Achilles-led government comes into power. और एक prominent एक मुस्लिम prominent leader ने कहा है कि लिंचिंग का मामला हम अगर सरकार में आ जाते हैं समाजवादी पार्टी के साथ तो निश्चित रूप से इसको लेके आएंगे, बट दिस इज नॉट माय डिस्कशन पॉइंट फ्रॉम हियर. व्हाइल दिस रिवाइवल ऑफ ग्रास रूट्स सेक्युलरिज्म डिजर्व्स एप्रिसिएशन, देयर इज अ नीड फॉर इट्स फर्दर कंसोलिडेशन. कम्युनलिज्म एज हिस्टोरियन ज्ञानेंद्र पांडे नोट्स. ज्ञानेंद्र पांडे बाजे is a great historian, is constructed. The truth is secularism also need construction. As Tosef Rai, a senior leader from Budhana and associated with the Samajwadi Party. The rise of the Hindutva and its ruthless use of coercive states power has shaken the foundation of the grassroots secularism and the confidence that Muslims had in it. One can only hope that this fresh lease of life grassroots secularism is sustained. So this is sufficient. Lessons from urban local body is not important. Students, students silver in gold, hunger and chilling fear. Medical student stare a bleak future. वर्ड पे पहुंचते हैं. वर्ड पे कंडीशन क्या आज वर्ड के पेपर पे? वर्ड की न्यूज क्या है? Russia bears down on Kyiv and Kharkiv. Kyiv is the capital of the Ukraine. Kharkiv is the major city of the Ukraine. Washington expels 12 Moscow UN diplomats on spying charges. Former US official visit Taiwan. समझ गए? Power cut record span in Sri Lanka. At least 444 civilians killed in Sudan clashes. Says UN. What is this? Let's slightly some points from here. At least 464 persons subjected to conflict-related sexual violence. 80,000 forced to flee in their homes. 80,000 अपना घर छोड़ने के लिए बाध्य हुए हैं. At least 440 millions died in brutal fighting between the rival factions in southwestern South Sudan over just a few months last year. The United Nations said on Tuesday. The report comes on the heels of a warning by the United Nations last month that the world's youngest country raised a return to war in the potus of the inter-ethnic violence and political fighting threatening and to even limited progress made in the impending setting peace process. यूनाइटेड नेशन ने इस बात को आग्रह किया है कि दुनिया का सबसे नौजवान देश जो भी हाल ही में 2011 में बना था वो फिर से अपनी उसी ढर्रे पे लौट आया जिस पर वो 2011 से पहले था. सूडान की मैं बात कर रहा हूं बेटा. ग्रेव ह्यूमन राइट्स वायलेंस एंड अब्यूजेस इंक्लूडिंग hundreds of killing were committed against civilians during fighting in Tambura country. Western Ethiopia state according to joint report issued on the Tuesday by the United Nations mission in South Sudan and the UN Human Rights Office. It blamed members of the armed forces loyal to President Salva Kiir and rivals in Sudan People's Liberation Movement army in opposition voice of President Richard Meher and their respective affiliated militaries for the violence. Between June and September last year, at least 440 civilians were killed in fighting between rival groups in Tambura country. 18 injured and 74 abducted, the report found. Okay, this is sufficient. Cash trapped Egypt hike Suez Canal. Okay, Suez Canal transit fee for ships. Suez Canal is important. Okay, war money is per fifth IT jobs from Russia, Ukraine to India. The mystery spinner. Okay, the big oil MNC existing in Russia. Why are energy companies like Shell and British Petroleum quieting joint ventures with Russia? That effect will these moves have on the larger economy? Okay, the history of the Kuki insurgency in Manipur. What is Kuki insurgency? Kuki is the long history of India. Okay, building the most exhaustive family tree. Okay, big oil MNC fitting Russia. Kya? Why are energy companies like Shell and British Petroleum, okay, quieting joint venture with Russia? Okay, what effect will these moves have on the larger economy? Okay, British Energy. What is this? British Energy major Shell decided to exit Russia, ending its joint venture energy project with Russian energy company, okay, Gazprom. Many other smaller energy companies are also expected to exit Russia soon. समझ गए? रशिया को छोड़ने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. Russia's decision to send military troops to invade Ukraine has led to various economic sanctions on the country. Many, however, called for sanctions that directly target Russia's energy sector, which contributed to more than a third of the Russian government budget last year. It should be noted that Russia's energy sector is dominated by the major producers such as Gazprom and Rosneft, which are owned by the government. These companies transfer their earnings of the Russian exchequer and also play a role in Russia's foreign policy that uses energy as a bargaining chip. समझ गए? However, the best has been measured in its energy sections. Even Europe's heavy reliance on Russian energy supplies. Russia supplies 40% of Europe's gas needs. समझ गए? रशिया 40% जो गैस सप्लाई करता है जिसकी जरूरत है. What is this? What is the story so far? Okay, अब तक की कहानी क्या है? British Energy major Shell on Monday decided to exit Russia. ब्रिटिश की मेजर सेल कंपनी ने रसिया को छोड़ने की कोशिश की है, डिसाइड कर लिया है. द कंपनी इंडेड इट्स ज्वाइंट वेंचर एनर्जी प्रोजेक्ट विद रशियन एनर्जी कंपनी Gazprom, including the Sakhalin is the island port of the Russia. Liquefied natural gas project and projects to develop and explore energy fields in Siberia. Shell is the latest oil company to quit Russia after British Petroleum on Sunday announced that it will be ending its joint venture with Rosneft. There are two companies, Rosneft and Gazprom. Many other smaller energy companies are also expected to exit Russia soon. Why is big oil quitting Russia? Russian President Vladimir Putin's decision to send military troops to invade Ukraine last week has led the US and Europe to impose various economic sanctions on the country. These include cutting off a number of Russian banks for the SWIFT network for international payment, as well as freezing the Russian central bank's dollar assets in order to stop the central bank from propping up to the ruble. Given the mutual dependence between Russia and Europe, the West have to find way to decrease reliance on Russian energy before it can seriously hurt Putin. Many, however, have called for sanctions that directly target Russia's energy sector, which contributed to more than a third of the Russian government budget last year. It should be noted that Russia's energy sector is heavily dominated by the Russian government, with major producers such as Gazprom and Rosneft, which contribute to the most of the Russia's energy production being owned by the government. These companies transfer their earnings, to the Russian exchequer and also play a role in Russia's foreign policy that uses energy as a bargaining chip. समझ गए? और ये क्या करती है कंपनियां? डायरेक्ट कैश भेज देती है, पेमेंट भेजती है रशियन एक्सचेकर को, जो कि सरकार का भाग बन जाता है. द सीईओ ऑफ द रोसनेफ्ट, Igor Sechin, for instance, is seen as a close ally of Putin and BP collaboration with Rosneft often criticized. समझ गए? और ऐसा माना जाता है कि रोसनेफ्ट का सीईओ है वो पुतिन का क्लोज संबंधी है. There have also been calls for Western oil companies to quit Russia after annexation to Crimea in 2014. Doing business in Russia thus carries significant reputational risk for large Western companies. However, the massive profits that large of companies, earning from their Russian operations has largely outweighed. What will be the impact of oil exit from Russia? Most of the impact of big oil exit from Russia on the country economy is likely be over the long run rather than in the immediate future. Foreign companies offer important technical know-how which helps in energy exploration and production. They also bring precious capital of fund energy projects in Russia. These can turn out to be crucial determinants of energy sector efficiency in the long run. It is not clear, however, how exactly BP and Shell will exit their investment at the moment. The exit could involve incurring significant losses if the Russian government decide to seize their assets. Western commodity trading houses such as Trafigura and Guillaume also play an important role in the sale of Russian energy in the international market. There exists from dealing in Russian energy assets, if it happens, can affect liquidity and lead to the greater volatility in energy prices in the international market. What lies ahead? इसको हम आगे डिस्कस करने की कोशिश करेंगे. द हिस्ट्री ऑफ द कुकी इंसर्जेंसी. व्हाट वाज कुकी इंसर्जेंसी? Who are the Kuki and what are their political aspirations and demands? Just before the first two phases of the assembly elections went underway in Manipur on February 28, all insurgent groups associated with the Kuki tribes in Manipur said they will vote for the Bharatiya Janata Party. सभी ने कहा कि मैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी को वोट करूंगा. This came days after Union Minister and BJP leader Amit Shah said his rally in Churandpur district of the state that his party will end the Kuki insurgency problem in 5 years. It is voted for power to the second time. The president of the Kuki National Organization, P.S. Okai, cited talks with the BJP leader, which he said promised the speedy settlement of Kuki political aspirations. Who are the Kuki? Kuki कौन है? Kuki are an ethnic group including multiple tribes originally inhabiting the northeastern states of India such as the Manipur, Mizoram and Assam, parts of the Burma, now Myanmar, Sylhet and Chittagong district, hill tracts of the Bangladesh. While Kuki is not a term coined by the ethnic groups itself, the tribes associated with it came to be generally called Kuki under colonial rule. In Manipur, the various Kuki tribes living mainly in hills currently make up to 30% of the total 28.5 lakh population of the state. While Churandpur is their main stronghold. They also have a sizable population in Chandel, Kangposi, Tangpoli and Senapati district. The rest of the population of Manipur is made by mainly two other ethnic groups. The Metis and non-tribal Vaishnavatic Hindu who live in the Baili region of the Manipur. And the Naga tribes historically at loggerheads with the Kuki also living in the hilly areas of the state. of 60 seats. Of the 60 seats in the Manipur Assembly, 40 are held by Methi caste, and the rest 20 seats held by Kuki and Nagas. Both BJP and Congress are fielding Kuki and Naga candidates this time. What led to the Kuki insurgents in Manipur? The Kuki insurgent groups have been under suspension of operation since 2005, when they signed an agreement for the same with the Indian Army. Later in 2008, the groups entered a tripartite agreement with the state government of Manipur and the UPA-led central government under the former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh to temporarily suspend their operations and give political dialogue a chance. Manipur, formerly a principal state including part of Burma, made the accession into India after independence, but was only made full-fledged state in 1972. और मणिपुर 1972 में पूर्ण रूप से राज्य बन गया. The rest over the forceful inclusion into the India and delayed granting statehood led to the rise of various insurgent movements. The problem was intensified after Manipur was declared a disturbed area in 1980s under the Armed Special Forces Act of SAFA, which gives sweeping power to the military, and has led access. Post-independence insurgent movement in Manipur, carried out by the valley-based groups or Metis, can be traced back to around the 1960s, when the various groups demanded self-determination and separate statehood for Manipur inspired by left ideology. However, this was not the case with the Kuki insurgency. The roots of the Kuki militancy lie in the conflict of ethnic identity. और जो Kuki identity जाति है, उसकी आइडेंटिटी इथनिक आइडेंटिटी में आती है. फर्स्ट वाज द डिमांड फॉर द सेल्फ डिटरमिनेशन स्लोली फॉर ग्रुप्स बिलोंगिंग टू देयर इथनिक फैब्रिक, मीनिंग द ड्रीम ऑफ द फॉर्म ऑफ कुकी लैंड. समझ के कुकी लैंड की स्थापना करना चाहते हैं, इंक्लूडिंग कुकी इनहेबिटेड रीजन्स ऑफ द म्यांमार, मणिपुर, असम एंड मिजोरम. द सेकेंड रीजन फॉर इंसर्जेंसी लाई इन द इंटर कम्युनिटी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट बिटवीन द कुकी एंड द नागाज इन मणिपुर. While organizations like Kuki INPI and Kuki National Assembly had already formed in the year following independence, insurgents activity at that time was jointly carried out by Kuki outfits based in Manipur, Myanmar and Mizoram for Kuki land. But the Kuki insurgency in Manipur grew in real terms in 1980s after the Kuki-Naga conflict of the 1990s. This is when the Kuki National Organization and its armed Big Kuki National Army were formed. The community could not shed internal differences between the tribes and take a single line of action, while some militant Kuki outfits demanded Kuki land, including part of which are not in India. Some demanded Kuki land within India. At present, the demand has come to the formulation of independent district Kuki land territorial council within the preview of the Indian Constitution, modeling the Bodo Land Territorial Council, which was formed under the 6th schedule of the Constitution after insurgent groups in Assam signed an agreement with their state government. The Kuki-Naga conflict was started over securing identity and led as some Kuki inhabited areas coined by the Naga inhabited areas, wanting to dominate trade and cultural activities in those areas. The two communities often engaged in violent standoff, with the villages being torched, civilians killed, and so on. Even though clashes have reduced in recent decades, tensions between the two ethnic groups still exist. Where do the Kuki stand today? आज टुडे Kuki कहाँ खड़े हैं? The temporary agreement were made in order to part of political dialogue, giving some form of self-determination of the Kuki, but has not happened both under of the UP or NDA government. The Kuki has been extended by the government almost every year since 2018, not 2018 but 2008, with the Kuki outfits मतलब भेषभूषा छवि, threatening to the breach and agreement by taking arms against boycotting the government. In 2012, the group held a nearly 8-month-long blockade of highway around their area, consisting the government a couple of crores in losses each day. The agreement was last extended by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi government in September last year till February 28 this year. Both BJP and the Congress government have held talks with the representative of the Kuki groups, but the Kuki are dissatisfied with the pace of the dialogue and also feel ignored, as the government has been holding Naga peace talks with the main Naga insurgent outfits, also known as NSC and IM, which demands for the formation of the Greater Nagaland, including the part of Manipur having Kuki inhabited regions. It has to seen how the BJP plan to resolve the insurgency and settle Kuki political aspirations, as the more than 50% Methi population of the state, a significant voter base, has always been against Kuki and Naga demands for self-determination, as they fear it would undermine Manipur's territorial integrity. Okay. Building the most exhaustive family tree. A recent study constructs a genealogy of all human from 27 million fragments of ancestral genomes. A new study by researchers from Oxford has enabled us to see a family tree of the entire human race. These family trees are constructed by taking from the human genomic database details of each chromosomes and constructing a tree that relates to the parent from particular chromosome are inhabited. According to this study, ancient genomes can be integrated into these trees to give data from which one can enter historical detail of demography. It takes into account more than 3,500 high quality and ancient genomes from more than 215 different human populations without cutting edge techniques for isolating identity and sequencing genome of archaic sources and sophisticated computer simulations. Method of 21st century science such as a feat would have been impossible. Okay. So this is most important session, especially for understanding point of view. Okay. On the best of the major important articles such as secularism articles and Kuki movement insurgency articles and Russian companies articles and other most articles which are very, very important for us. So this concludes. Thanks for watching.